Coming up on Look Today, well, Saratoga Springs Mayor Joanne Yepsen has made more affordable housing a priority for 2016. What changes will be made? Well, I've got some details. Plus, Lake George businesses hope for a frozen lake soon. And Hadley Luzerne High School raises over $8,000 in their dance marathon. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with the ladies from Saratoga, Saratoga to talk about the Cabin Fever Luncheon, and that's coming up soon. And we also talk with Jeff Shinneman. He is the Executive Director of the Academy for Lifelong Learning at SUNY Empire, about continuing education. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, we've got these headline stories. In our lead story, Saratoga Springs Mayor Joanne Yepsen addresses the elevated housing prices in the area. Much of Saratoga's housing is priced for the wealthy, and as plans to tear down the infamous Pink Palace move forward to create high-end condos, residents are speaking out about the lack of affordable properties in town. Now, many employees in the city come into work from out of town because they cannot meet the expenses of living costs within the city. Well, Mayor Yepsen has made the issue a top priority for 2016 and created a task force to explore land where less expensive units can be built. Yepsen notes that it's important to the community to have options when she states, "We have these high-end condos people keep talking about, but we need more in the middle. And that's not just the lower income anymore, it's the middle class too, getting outpriced right out of the city." Well, changing from news to weather, it warmed up a little bit today, but let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For the latest, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, Lake George is usually frozen over by mid-January, but that's not the case this year. Although there have been reports of ice in smaller bays, the wind has been the main cause for a still unfrozen lake this year. Any ice that is formed on the lake is immediately broken up by the high winds. Water temps have also hovered around 42 degrees. That's 10 degrees warmer than freezing. Surrounding businesses hope for a few cold nights without wind, and that will allow the lake to freeze. Now, as you know, the Lake George Winter Carnival is just a few weeks away. Now, that usually incorporates activities on the frozen lake, and it looks like they'll need to readjust now. They'll need at least a foot of ice on the lake for outhouses at ATV ice races. The carnival, by the way, will still go on, but organizers are hopeful for an ice-in by the last weekend of the event. In other news, check this out. Hadley Luzerne High School raised $8,300 at their dance marathon this past weekend. 38 students danced from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and beat last year's fundraising total. Portions of the funds were donated to a school secretary battling cancer, a sister of a student recovering from a car crash, and the Hunter Schofield Scholarship. Now, this scholarship, by the way, honors that student who died in a 2014 bus accident, and she would have been graduating this year. Also in the news, Sustainable Saratoga, a group that advocates for small growth land use, has approved the High Rock parking lot plan. Now, according to a press release from the Sustainable Saratoga Board Chair, the group reviewed 3 proposals for the High Rock property, and they approved the Hyman Hemispheric Sequence Development Plan. This plan incorporated smart growth principles and respects historic development patterns. Now, meanwhile, the parking lot design is still awaiting completion of the request for proposal process from the City Council. Sustainable Saratoga urges the City Council to select this particular development plan and move forward with the approval process. Well, still to come, we've got an interview with the members of Saratoga Saratoga to talk about the upcoming Cabin Fever Luncheon. Plus, I sit down with Jeff Shinneman. He's the Executive Director of the Academy for Lifelong Learning at SUNY Empire. He's going to talk about the importance of continuing education. Great interview. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, or join us for an interview, give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000.